Welcome to day 261 of TFIF 365. And today I want to talk about something because as I'm figuring out what it means for my work to be more, again, about the coalition of the wounded, more about building relationships, more about friendships, and it's such a tricky landscape to traverse, right? And if we're talking about supremacy-free, coercion-free, discrimination-free, and exploitation-free, which we are, we have to make sure even liberation work and liberation workers have set their boundaries. And I'm going to tell you about a story that happened to me yesterday. So since I realized the importance of my my ability to build, to what am I trying to say? To have better relationships. That's what I'm trying to say. My mind just went blank. That's one of those ADHD things. And again, your normal, this is just an aside, your normal person who be on social would try to maybe, that was a long pause, would try to edit it out just like for this. And I'm not, because this is just life. I want to just show what life is. And if you can't take a long pregnant pause for the content, then this content is for you. So, and I don't even know what the hell I was talking about. So I'll just start from this point. But what I was saying was, I know what I was talking about. I just don't know the last thing I was saying. So what I'm saying is, so yesterday I had a conversation with a family member, and they were reached out to me because another family member they thought could use my wisdom, my style, right? I've always been this person in my family. So I need y'all to think about that. This is who I am, but this is who I am with my family too. And so I've always been the person who people could go to hash out, to talk through, actually, again, put that classroom management shit, hold people accountable, and all of that. And that takes a toll. That takes a toll, because we are socialized, particularly brown and black people, particularly brown and black women, that again, black women specifically, that we're in service to everybody else, right? And when we do anything in service to ourselves, we're being selfish. Well, fuck it, I'm going to be selfish. So in that conversation, there were two things that I recognized that as I move forward. That's what I was trying to say. Something about this work is about me helping people have better relationships with themselves and the people around them. I don't know what that is yet, but I've had so many, since that kind of aha came to me, I've had at least 2 conversations a day with people about the same thing. So I'm like, something about this is, yeah, okay. So I noticed 2 things in that conversation. I was like, oh, I need to set boundaries about this. It was after the fact, hindsight being 2020. The first thing is when they were telling me about this individual, telling me about this family member that they wanted me to talk to. And I've talked to this person before. We have a great relationship. I recognized that they were saying that the behavior they want me to address, the things that this individual is doing, they're still doing it. And so I'm like, I'm not here to convince or convert. I told you, I am Moses. I am parting the Red Sea. I am going ahead. If your ass get drowned back there, I don't know what to tell you. So there's nothing you can do for anybody who cannot stop the behavior that's causing the problem. I've never been to AA, but I've seen enough AA shit on shows to know that that's the first thing. The first step is acknowledging you have a fucking problem. So if this individual can't acknowledge they have a problem and that problem that they have are causing problems in other people's lives, I don't know what I can say other than what you've already done, right? So that's one. You have to find out where you are on that spectrum of helping people. And mine is, I'm not here to convince or convert. I'm not here, if you're not ready, because my process is rough enough for people. And for me, it's so draining. Doing this work, that's what people don't understand. This is not going to your local tech company. This is not even like going to your working at your local McDonald's franchise. That is this is something that comes from inside. And every time I engage with people, there's a part of me, my battery drains. I'll use that as an example. I have an internal battery. And so every time I talk to somebody, the battery drains. But if I do work with people who aren't ready to engage in that work, it does not only drain my battery, but it like shocks my battery. It just like, it's like a shock. And it's like, so it drains it more. So I don't know how to explain it, but trying to work with people who are not ready is just so, I just can't do it. That's work for other people. I can't do it. So that was the first thing. The second thing, and I'm giving you these details and trying to explain, because you need to understand as liberation workers, what it looks like for you. And so I'm trying not to be, vague. I'm trying to give you a sense, because it's not something tangible, right? So I'm trying to give you a sense of what this work is and why I need to rest a lot. It's not from laziness. My battery is on zero. My tank is on fumes. It's past E. It is on fumes. So the second thing, though, that I realized is I'm no longer going to allow someone to come to me in service or for somebody else, because after over an hour conversation with them, about 40 minutes in, I realized, particularly after they told me that this individual's behavior hasn't changed, and also that this individual had been doing things that directly harm them, I needed to be directing my conversation to the person I was actually talking to in that moment. Make space for them to tell me their story, to feel safe, welcome and psychological safe, for me to put my foot down and say, hey, you're doing too much. This individual is not your fucking responsibility. This individual is an adult making adult decisions, and just because they're related to you does not mean make them your decisions and your impact and your consequences. This is one of the main reasons I'm not speaking to my mom, because her decisions should not negatively impact me. I was not a part of that decision. I had nothing to do with that decision. So why am I dealing with the consequences of your decision, which wasn't thought out, was a bad decision? And that stuff has happened to me all my life. And so that's another thing. I will no longer, if I'm going to drain my battery, I'm going to drain my battery with the people I'm talking to. I'm not going to be draining my battery with somebody who's coming to me for on behalf of somebody else who may or may not want to be engaging with me in this way. So I'm just saying this to when we're talking about supremacy, coercion, discrimination, exploitation free, I always talk about doing that internal self-evaluation, self-accountability, self-reflection. And when we're talking about the coalition of the wounded, we have to know ourselves. So, because if we don't know ourselves, we don't know what to ask others for. Or, even more important, we don't know when to say no, right? We don't know when someone asks, those others ask, where our line is, when we can say, no, I'm not going to do that. Because that's definitely something. I was like, when someone brings up something, I say, I can do that, but that over there, I'm not going to do. I remember when I was teaching, I was a special needs teacher, and one of my co-teachers, we were on a team together. They teamed us up. He was actually my mentee, and he was the new head football coach. He was like, so they wanted me to train him, and so I was training him. But he thought he was gonna be slick and say, because football season in the fall, can you do all the meetings, the illegal meetings, the IEPs for the fall, and I'll pick them up for the winter? No, bitch, no. I'm gonna teach you. What I'm gonna do is teach you to do your job, and how you get that done is on you, right? Because I have my own paperwork to do. And so it was. And the reason I said that, and I was so hard, because he kept pushing. He kept pushing the line. He was like, no. I see what you're trying to do. And then I was happy that I made that decision, because he turned out to be a lazy ass and really didn't do any of the work that he was supposed to do that was outside of coaching football, right? And so that was on him. And so that's what he was trying to do. He was trying to push that off on me. And I'm sure it happened, but it worked before, because, the football coach and, whatever. But, yeah, we need to know where our boundaries are in this work. There's no liberation if the liberation workers can't be liberated as well, right? So, yeah. Okay, till tomorrow, peace. Become a sustaining sponsor at kimcreighton.com/support-the-work and help make this work happen.